Welcome back to Coffee Time with Almeida. The Monday, we just survived the weekend. I hope everybody had a great weekend. Today we have on Kara Champagne, and she is a detox clinician. So we're going to be talking about some detox stuff, and you get inside her head. Let's see if we can ask her some questions too. So if you guys are on, you can ask us some questions over the comments, and we'll respond. Jason Trenholm, good morning, my friend. Great to see you. All right, guys, welcome on to Kara. Hi, Kara.
Hi, thank you for having me. Happy to be here. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. You guys have a nice weekend?
Yes, very nice Easter. We had a nice pork roast dinner last night.
Nice. I saw that you guys got that from Farmer Dave.
Yes, and carrots. They were delicious.
Shout out to Farmer Dave. All right. So what are you drinking there? What do you got going on in that cup?
Right now I have coffee with chocolate milk.
Very nice, very nice, very nice. Everybody, as I'm learning, everybody does it completely different. So it's I haven't had more than one person, two people on that drink the same coffee. So, anyways, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I'm 30 years old. I'm currently working at a detox clinic. I'm also a polarity therapist, which is very similar to Reiki. I enjoy, yoga and being outside and all that fun stuff.
Nice. So detox clinician, tell us a little bit about what that means.
So I am a detox clinician, and what that means is when a client comes in for the first 7 days of detox, I am coordinating all their care and planning their discharge coordination.
All right. And how did you get into that work, that line of work?
So I've been a social worker in the field since I was about 18. I have my bachelor's in social work, and I've worked with a lot of different populations. And what I have found is that substance abuse is prevalent with just about any population, any age, any gender. It does not discriminate. So I just thought it was important for me to get involved in such a population that needs so much help.
And how long have you been doing this?
So I just got back into the field this year for substance abuse counseling, but I did run a group home for adults with severe and persistent mental health issues for about 3 years previously. And a majority of the clients were dual diagnosis. So I have quite a bit of experience there.
Oh, nice. All right. So you just like helping people, probably, right?
I do. Yeah. I started volunteering when I was in the 5th grade, and I just kind of haven't stopped.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. That's so cool. So let's talk about the current situation of people trying to find like rehab or detox right now. What's the scenario they're kind of going through during Corona time?
So there are definitely beds available. The turnaround that we have with our clients is the day that they call is the day that they do receive a bed. They might have to wait a couple of hours, but they are available. We're definitely doing a lot of different measures to respond to the coronavirus. We have cut our capacity in half, so we only have 16 clients right now. 2 to a room to make sure that, we're keeping the social distancing. And a lot of we're also wearing masks. We have, literally X's on the floor where our clients can stand when they're in line, when they're waiting for meals, when they're waiting for their meds. So there are definitely still services out there. There are still beds available for people who need them. They just got to call and ask.
I just want to say good morning to the folks up there with John, Nicole, Rodney. What's happening? So it's it's kind of a good time to go to do detox right now if you have the availability to if you don't have work, right? It's kind of like a good time to get into that. Whether I think
Absolutely.
And I know that we're kind of like everybody's detoxing from different things, right? You're detoxing from something that's super severe, like an opioid addiction, or you could be detoxing to from alcohol. Not that that's not as severe as opioid, or you can be detoxing from, constant stimulation of working. All of a sudden, you're not working anymore, right? So I feel like it is important for people to kind of realize that this is the time that they might be able to use on themselves.
Yes, absolutely. And I've seen that in the clientele as well. We have men who have worked construction their whole life who haven't had a week off where they weren't taking a vacation, and now they find themselves in rehab because they have the time, or their significant other is kind of sick of them and wants them to finally get better. Whatever the reason is, now's a good time to do it because, if you're just sitting at home anyway.
We have Derek asking what the average turnaround time for your clients are.
So the detox is supposed to be 7 days, and then we step them down to CSS. However, well, just for your information, all my clients are volunteer. Nobody is sectioned. Nobody is forced to be there. Anyone that's there signs up themselves. That being said, a lot of our clients usually leave within 2 to 3 days. Unfortunately, a lot of our clients don't come in for detox. They come in because they've run out of money or their drugs and they don't want to go through the withdrawal process. So unfortunately, we're kind of being used for that. When I first started, that was very frustrating to me because I'm like, why am I here? These people don't want help. We're just basically holding them over to their next fix. But I've come to accept it because I'm happy that they're not robbing stores or their family members or hurting themselves or others for their next high. So I would say our clients either complete the 7 days or they're gone within 2 to 3 because they weren't there for the right reasons to begin with.
I gotcha. All right. So tell us a little bit about what's happening on the street right now as far as availability and what's going on.
Yes. So when we bring the clients in, we drug test everybody, and that's so we get a good idea on how we need to treat them and what protocols they might need to be on. And a lot of times, what we're finding recently is when we're drug testing people, they're coming back positive for drugs they never even knew they took. And this is because the drugs that are available on the streets right now are not as safe as they were before the coronavirus. Any supply that has been interrupted, the demand still needs to be met. So they're cutting these drugs with much more dangerous substances, or like we have people who are coming in positive for meth who have never taken meth and they thought they were taking fentanyl or heroin. So the street drugs out there are very dangerous. People don't know what they were taking. They didn't really before, but now it's just that much more scary. And people are willing to take just about anything because they're stuck at home and they don't have access to their normal resources.
So that's pretty scary. You think you're taking. I mean, taking drugs is scary in general. I think, especially when you're on that level. And then all of a sudden you think you're like, oh, I'm gonna be chilling out, and then all of a sudden you're like, probably from meth or whatever it might be. Not that I would know, but I can imagine. I've seen it happen to people. Um,
That
so
is very
what kind
scary.
so I feel like the best advice right now is take this time to see if you can detox. Now, do you have any advice for people who don't want to go? Like, can they stay? They can stay at home as long as they have some support at home and kind of have someone watching them.
Absolutely. Mild mild withdrawal and mild detox definitely can be done at home for people who aren't daily users or who aren't using at such high volumes. Mild detox is definitely can be done at home with the correct support. You're absolutely right with that. You need to have people around or people you can call to reach out to when you're not feeling well. And it is good to have a safety plan in place. You might think you are somebody who only requires a mild detox, but it's good to, call your doctor, get a second opinion. Maybe you're not feeling so great, the next day, call for help, call for resources. There are people there are people available to kind of walk you through it because you might, even alcohol withdrawal, you might think you're safe and you're not drinking at high enough volumes. But if you are and you're not aware, you could end up having seizures or, worse because alcohol withdrawal is very serious.
Sure. And right now, you can't go out to bars, but I guess you can go get at the liquor store. So, you can keep that kind of, cut that off of the past before you start going through detox. But even people right now, I can imagine that they're not working, so they don't have money. So how can they buy alcohol? So it's got to be dangerous. I have a question here from Jason. Have you ever encountered someone personally, and if so, how do you deal with that? And do you proceed, or do you hand them off someone else?
So that hasn't happened to me yet. I'm working at a detox center that's about an hour away from my house, and I do that on purpose because in in the past I have run into clients. And we do have a protocol at work is if we do recognize somebody, we basically kind of ignore them and treat them like a client. We're not going to take them onto our caseload. They're going to be working with a different clinician, and we're only going to be running into them if we're facilitating a group with them. And we would treat them exactly how we would treat anybody else. And we wouldn't want the other clientele to know there is that relationship, because we wouldn't want them to think there's, preference or anybody getting treated better than anybody else. So we really just try to not ignore the situation, but we always bring the client in. We say, this is how we're going to approach it. We hope this doesn't make you feel uncomfortable. If that's all right with you. And they don't care. They're there to detox. And 9 times out of 10, if somebody is using, their family and friends are already aware. So it kind of keeps them more on point to have somebody there that's holding them a little bit more accountable.
So we talked about the other day about stress and anxiety being a trigger point for people who are stuck home, and that basically turning them, back into seeking whatever thing they might rely on. So you shared a bunch of really cool links with me that we'll share out later on today. But can you talk about maybe like stress and anxiety and how that can affect people?
Yeah, absolutely. Right now, we're dealing with stress and anxiety that we've never dealt with before. This is a national pandemic. Everybody is kind of having to develop coping skills that they didn't necessarily need to use before. Addicts always, well, people in recovery always have different tools and resources in their tool belt that they can kind of use when they are triggered to use or when they find themselves in certain environments. And this isn't really one anybody has planned for. So when you have your discharge plan and you have these people to call or whatever, and then all of a sudden there's a disruption in the plan, I think people don't really know what to do. And again, there's supports for that as well. Just having a good friend or a family member, even if you think it's like in a strange relationship, nobody's ever upset if you call and ask them for help. They're like, okay, you're at a vulnerable spot. I'm going to reach out to you. And if that person doesn't, they're a shithead. Call the next person on your list. Truth of the
Yeah,
matter.
they don't care about you enough, right? I have
Right.
Derek asking, are there any home remedies for detoxing? I don't know if it's
That's kind of a hard question because there are so many substances that you can detox and withdraw from. I think the best advice is having, you know, I look into whatever the person is using and then kind of go from there. Water is obviously a good thing because it helps flush your system. But if somebody is nauseous and can't hold anything down, then water is not going to be the answer. You would want to get maybe omeprazole or something to help out with that. A lot of people have trouble detoxing at home just because the mental health aspect. That's depression. You can easily take a natural remedy like St. John's wort every day just to kind of help regulate the emotion part of it, just so not so down in the dumps. um Withdrawal is a very physical thing. There's involves a lot of tremors. It's substances leaving your body is needing it. So it's just reminding yourself that it's not going to last forever. It's typically only a week, maybe a couple more days for actual detox that you're going to go through the withdrawal symptoms. So it's just reminding yourself that it is going to get better. It's just a matter of time. The time is going to pass regardless of whether you're high or not. So, just do the work, get it done, be uncomfortable for a couple of days, because once you go through the withdrawal process, you don't have to do it again unless you start using it again.
sure.
So it's just kind of getting it in your mind that you can and will do it.
So you said you're seeing more men right now versus women, and possibly because they're at home with the children, or they have less time because they can't leave the house.
Yeah, right now we have 16 men. Normally our population is about 60% men, 40% women, and 100% men right now. And it's very interesting because we've never had this before. Normally it's always half and half. We always have women coming in. So it does make you wonder, are there more men available for detox because they're typically working? Or are women kind of being forced into the traditional caregiver roles? It's really something that I'm not sure. And unfortunately, we won't have answers until this is all done and studied. But it just makes you think, where are the women? Why aren't they in detox? Because there are many users of women as there are of men. So why aren't they using this time to get clean is, very interesting and makes you wonder.
I have another question here about this is a long one, so I'm going to try to read it slowly. As far as alcohol, in your experience, how many people that went in for alcohol detox knew it was time to go? What was the point where they decided it was time to get help? And do most of them go voluntarily or with urging from family and friends?
So the program is a volunteer program, but a majority of the clients are there because they're being motivated by their family. Um, I would say about half and half are ready and half are being pushed in that direction. I would say a lot of people that come in for alcohol, it's not the first time. They've been through the recovery before, and unfortunately, they've just relapsed, which is a part of recovery, and that's fine. Um, but a lot of people are brought there. They're dropped off by their brother, by their family member, by their mom. But the reason it doesn't matter why somebody gets there initially, um, because that doesn't determine if they're going to finish or not. We have people who drive themselves there, and on the first day they are so motivated, and you'll never think they're going to use again because they've convinced themselves and us that. And then 2 days later, they're walking out of the program. Then we have people who are brought there by their uncle, who are kicking and screaming, who don't want to be there at all, and who complete. So it really doesn't matter why somebody gets there. It's just important that they do. And that sometimes it's their probation officer that says, hey, if you do this voluntarily, then you're not going to go to jail. And they do that. And they tell me that they don't want to detox. And then 2 weeks later, they're clean. So it, it's kind of hard to I don't know. I
It's
don't
it,
think the reason why somebody gets there determines whether or not they're going to be successful.
yeah, it seems like it's a combination of things, whether they want to, or if they have the support once they get done, or just genuinely if they want to be done with it or not.
Right.
It's crazy. It's crazy how it just has a hold on some people that they just can't shake it. Um,
Yeah, everybody's rock bottom is different. Somebody could be threatened by their spouse or wife, whatever, and want to get clean, and then somebody loses literally everything, and it's still not enough for them.
right, living in the street, it's like I just want more, whatever it is. Um, so let's see here. So there are online resources you can do, like Zoom meetings for AA, I believe, right?
Absolutely. AA, NA, the 12 steps, they have Zoom meetings going up for just about anything right now, even Al-Anon and Al-Anon Teen, which is a great resource for people living with addicts, especially right now, because this can be, a time of tension.
And we're gonna post this list of resources so everybody can follow it and share it if they want to. If they know anybody that needs or if they're in need themselves. So just kind of to talk about what's your favorite thing about the new world we're living in. I mean, there might be hard to find a favorite thing, but I think everybody has one little thing.
I think that people are realizing what's more important, the things that they're missing, their family, spending time with people. That's what's important. The Target trips are, you miss them, but that's not the first thing I'm going to do. And I can finally leave my house. I've been, reaching out to my friends and kind of just making sure that they're okay and vice versa. I've had friends reach out to me and do the same. And I enjoy that because when we're in the hustle and bustle of everyday life and we're not all going through something, you just assume people are okay and that they don't need, a text or a hi. But right now, everybody seems to be doing that to each other. And I think that's awesome. And I don't think we should only do that in a time of pandemic. And I hope that's something that moves forward on a day
Yeah,
to day basis.
hopefully we can retrain ourselves to connect more, right? Um,
Yeah.
do you have anything you're looking forward to the next couple of weeks?
Well, my birthday is April 30th.
All right. Woo! Virtual
So,
birthday party.
yeah, I'm very excited about that. Normally, I'm surrounded by my family, nieces and nephews, but I know I'm gonna make the best of it, and that's all I can do. So it's gonna be a great day, great time. I look forward to that a lot.
Cool. So Rodney is saying he runs a restaurant mental health and self-care page on Facebook. We'll share that out today.
Awesome.
And just a quick recap here. So you're binging Ozark right now.
Yes, yes.
Who's your favorite character?
Ah, I would say Ruth.
All right.
She's a badass. Yeah. I'm
She's
scared of her.
she's pretty. I'd be scared of her too. She like seems like she would shoot your penis off.
Yeah, definitely.
um anyway, so all right, well, Kara, it was great having you on, and we're going to share this out today, and we're going to post those resources, and if anybody has any questions, they can contact us, and we can hopefully get
Absolutely.
some people some help if they need it, or if you have a friend who might be in need, let's try to help them out in this time of the corona, and connecting back with each other. I got a mouthful there. All right, Kara, awesome. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you for having me.
Great to see you.
Alrighty.
All right, folks. Well, thank you for tuning into Coffee Time with Almeida. This week we have a great week coming up. Tomorrow we have Lonnie Diner coming at you from Brooklyn, New York. He is a chef friend of mine. We're going to be making some matzo waffles. Yes, live on the internet. On Wednesday we have funeral director Amy Silva, old friend of mine back from the '90s. On Thursday, we have herbalist Jessie Lou Rodriguez. She's coming on. We're going to talk about plants and stuff, and some herbs you can have around your house. And then on Friday, we have a special treat coming at you from California. Graham Richards is going to play some music for us, and we're just going to talk about music and life in Northern California. And here, I'm going to leave you with the comedy genius of Josh Bell.
Coffee time with Almeida. Every weekday at 9. Won't you join me for a real fun time?